17th of September today. I've had to re-tripod my tripod for my beans. It's been down 6 or 7 times in these amazing gales and winds we've had. But everything else is looking fine. The allotment itself is looking absolutely full, beautiful, full of flowers, full of seeds. And no doubt quite a few people will be panicking over all the seed that these mustard plants and these buckwheat plants are putting out, but I really don't mind. I really don't mind. It all looks wonderful, and the most important thing is it's really helping the soil. Today, a couple of things we're just going to look at. So I'm going to look at garlic, planting garlic, which you'll be doing hopefully very soon. Going through my bulbs, I'll show you what I'm planting. We've had about a week of rain now. This is the first proper rain we've had this year. As a result of that, my broccoli and cauliflower have just exploded into life. I'm going to show you them. And then I'm going to have a look at a new compost heap that I've just filled. It's actually one of these storage bins here because the other 2 bins aren't finished, still not ready to turn. So we'll just go through that and what I'm going to do with that, and then I will see you at the end. Well, in the shed, I am just looking through my garlic. These are the best bulbs I grew this year. Also the biggest bulbs, and I'm just picking through them just to see how much garlic I've got. Every year, if you save the biggest bulbs from your garlic, you're going to get better bulbs or bigger bulbs. So cloves like that, absolutely beautiful. That's the size I sort of want to be planting, like that. And these smaller ones, not so much. So they'll go home and they'll be used in the kitchen right now. That is okay, you see. Maybe that one, I'll put that one on the maybe pile. Ideally I want about 60-70 cloves of garlic to plant out. Towards the centre of the bulb you always get these little tiny ones like that. Ideally you don't want to plant them because you'll get small garlic in return. So I have ordered some more garlic. I can't remember the variety, guys. I ordered about a week ago. It's not here yet. I'm hoping it's going to be here in time for me to plant them. But yeah, they're meant to be really big bulbs and really big cloves. They're more suited to where I live in the north. It's coming up to time to plant your garlic, guys. So the equinox is the best time, or just after the equinox. 22nd of September. So we can get these cloves in the ground. I've already got a bed prepared. So there we go. That's looking like my bestest garlic. It's only got 2, 4, 6, 31 there. About half of what I want. What I'm going to do is go through these cloves as well. These slightly smaller ones, and just see if there's anything here that's bigger than anything there, and if there is I shall replace it, but I don't think there is. I don't think there is at all. No. There's one. Yeah, there's one. So that's us. That's all for the kitchen, and that is for the bed, and I just need to wait for these 40 cloves to arrive, which will give us 70 plants, 70 bulbs or 70 cloves growing, planted this year, which is ample and plenty for me. Well, I was just checking my collies to see if there was anything worth picking. It's only 5 days since I looked, and this was half the size, literally half the size. It wasn't much bigger than that one there. Look how this is shot up with this rain. Little bit more white fly on them now since this rain's come. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful. Did I call them cauliflower? Well, there's a very good reason why I call them cauliflower. I obviously mean broccoli. So that's going today. I'll take these 2 plants out as well now, because I'm going to show you the new bin I've just filled, and I'll use these leaves in that bin. Well, this here is a really holy shamoly. Look at these. Look at these collies. It's only about 10 days ago when I looked at these and there was nothing there. They've had really tightly curled heads on them. There was nothing there. But now there's a big fat caterpillar there eating the leaves and pooping on my collie. So any day now that guy is coming out. And this is the fella next door to him. He's an absolute beauty. Look at him, really tight head. Maybe 1-2 days and he can go as well. He's got no caterpillar pooping on him. It's actually a moth, that, a moth larvae. His friend next door, oh, he's a bit smaller. Can you see him there? He's a little bit smaller, that lad. But he's coming on strong. Yeah, these heads have just opened up. It's this rain, it's all this rain we've had in the last week. They've really come on, these, my God. All they needed was some water to really bring them on. Looks like we're going to get 6 really nice cauliflowers out of them. They'll probably mostly go in the freezer. There's the compost bins cooking away. I'll show you them in a second. But what I've had to do is start filling this bin. This is a storage bin. And 3 days ago, I filled it to here. And we've lost a good 12 inches of it. I'm actually really pleased. It's not insulated at all, this bin. It's just got this membrane on to keep it, you know, to keep the wind out of it. But I think it'll be generating heat. It must be. Oh, it's generating heat, all right. Yeah, it is. That's it. A little bit dry, I think, there at the top. Oh, that is hot though. So I put those apples in 2 days ago. I think I'll just mix. That's a lot of leafy material I put in. Wood chippings and leaves, which is dried out because it needs a lot of moisture, wood chip and leaves, to compost. So if we mix those apples in, it'll put some moisture in there with it. You can maybe see the heat coming off here. Oh yeah, we've got heat all right. It's not completely bone dry, that woody material. It was just starting to go that way. But saying that, it is dry. I've just been for a can of water. I'll just wet them, that leaves and chip down a little bit. And when it's drying out, it just stops composting if it dries out completely. The fungi can't thrive in dry conditions. And that'll be plenty. As you can see, it's windfall season, so the apples are falling everywhere on site. So many. Now the broccoli this year in that bed, certainly zero sign of clubroot on these guys at all. Really pleased with that. It's notoriously bad for clubroot, this allotment was. Not so much now. And we haven't put any magic sprays, chemicals, done anything radical. We've not been liming the ground. All we have done is apply compost and stop digging the soil. And the clubroot has almost been eradicated from here. It's just really good. Leave it to nature. Nature knows best. Nature wants these brassicas to grow. So she'll do all she can to protect them and keep them growing. Now my idea was, I suppose really, to just use this as a kind of temporary bin, if you like, until I turned one of those others, and then I was just going to hoof all this material into the other hot bin and start refilling it. I may actually still do that, you know. These are some more bits and bobs. And I think I will go on an apple pick tomorrow and just see if I can get another few barrelful in there. Look at that spider. Come on, lad, you don't want to stay in there, do you? Look at him. He's colourful. Come on, my friend. Let's have a look in here, eh? See what's going on? Well, it's definitely sunk. There's so much worm movement and activity at the moment. So all over the allotment around the compost bins. I'm just finding so many of these red wrigglers. And I really don't know if they're trying to move in or they're trying to move out. They are literally everywhere. There's a wheelbarrow here with water in it, just absolutely full of worms. So I'm being a worm shepherd at the moment and herding worms all over the place, moving them. There's worms on top of here. So yeah, like I say, I don't know if they're moving in or moving out. Now this, as far as I can see, is still a couple of weeks really off being turned. There's still a lot of heat in that. Wow. A lot of apples and things went into the top. That is really hot, but it's nearly there. It's nearly there, nearly ready for a turn. Because this, I always put a few bits and bobs of sticky material in, like sticks, and you can see that these are just falling apart now, which tells me that the overall breakdown has been good. Yeah, because of the woody material, when it's falling apart like that, the heap can be turned. And again, the only reason I want to turn this bin is because I want to refill it. That's the root of a sweet corn plant, that. And look at that, that is falling apart, because these things are really tough, as you probably know. But that is just breaking apart now, really nice. So yeah, I think a week to 10 days and I will be emptying that bin. There's a corn cob. Oh, it smells good. good enough to eat. But that is still intact. And just to help that out a little bit, just chop that up. It's really soft actually, so it is starting to compost. But 2 weeks will make a massive difference to that corn cob in here. Yeah, so 2 weeks, guys, that is going into the middle bin on top of the compost which has already come out of this bin. So that'll be in 2 weeks time, that'll be 2 binfuls of compost from this bin that has gone into the centre. Let's have a look at that other bin on the end, see where we are with that one. Now this one here, to the left on the end, this is the sort of Johnson Sue bin I was sort of trying out, if you know what I mean. Which didn't really work out. But since I took those air pipes in, it looks like we've had a lot of sink rate in here as well. This has been filled up 2 or 3 times now. Yeah, we've had some kind of rodent in here. So despite this plastic cover being on, something has got in. I think it's that vole. I can see a hole here. I'm just going to take the insulation out. So can you see at the back there, it's found an apple which it's been chewing on, and then there's a hole there going down the back. There's another hole in that corner. This is where the bin is. It's coldest around the sides. There's another hole here, just here where it's gone in on the side. I'm going to give this a prod with something and see if I can scooch it out, see if it's probably still in here actually. I don't think it seems to be in here. The last one, I only gave it a couple of prods, the last vole, and it came jumping out. running around like a lunatic. I'm going to get the fork and just give that a turn and see what's going on in here. See, there is still some heat. That's all mycelium in that. It's not dry, which is good. Is that dry? It's not bone dry, but it is getting on the dry side. So I suspect it's that. That's why this heap hasn't been as good as the other one. Because of those air pipes. The air's been moving through the heap and dried it out. So I'm going to get some water on the back of that. It's far too dry. There was that kind of understory of material that had gone in that had just dried out. This stuff on the top is on the surface is actually okay. It's wet enough. There's still some heat in here, but it is nowhere, absolutely nowhere as hot as the bin on the other end. I'm going to give this now 3 days, 4 days maximum to see if it shapes up and behaves itself and starts heating up. If it doesn't, then most likely in 2 weeks this material will go into the middle bin along with the material from the other bin. The top of that heap will still be hot. The top of the other heap is obviously still hot, so that will be put directly on top of this material in the middle bin. Again, it's just a game of compost Django, juggling all the time. Look at that fungi growing in there. Wow. But that is dry, guys, that stuff, what it's growing in. So the fungi has started growing, and then unfortunately it's just dried out. But saying that, it's not as dry as the back. It isn't. We're still making compost, if not slower. But we're still making compost. In fact, look at this stuff. It's just as it went in. Weeks and weeks ago, these are the tomato stems, just like they went in weeks ago. Yeah, I'm going to give it 2 or 3 days. If it doesn't buck up, I've just changed my mind. I'm just going to chuck it into the top of this storage bin, which is really hot. So we'll break it down in there instead. At least now as I've ruffled all this up, I can see if this vole or rat or whatever it is, I think it's a vole, I can see if it's still mooching about. Let's get the surface even and be able to see if it's still climbing up and digging holes. All it's basically got to eat in there is apples and heat. So it's got apples and it's got warmth. And it did have a dry bed, but it's now got a wet bed. At least it's not rats, which I am thankful about. Although you could probably argue that a vole is just a small rat. But that's another argument for a different day. How have you got in there, vole? Well, you're very crafty and you've found a way. My summer carrots have done that. They are the Touchon. Just absolutely enormous. The Eskimo have done this. So much further ahead than they were last year. Let's get you an Eskimo. That is what the Eskimos have done. Look at the size of them things. Twice as big as last year, guys, planted at the same time and twice as big as they were last year. More than enough carrots to go through to next year. So if I let these grow much longer, they're just going to get really big and start splitting. Don't want that. There's already more than enough carrots the size they are in this bed to last us all winter. Edgeplot signing out on this really windy, sunny, showery, rainy day, looking at the millions of wood pigeons in the background. The wildlife is moving in, looking for food. Beware. Right guys, catch you on the next one. Bye for now.